A warm welcome to you out there. This is OGTV News. Thanks so much for joining us. I am Bukola Agbakisu. On the news, Governor Abiodun sues for patriotism in confronting nation's challenges. NAD, Jusan, adamant on strike. 8 kidnapped RCCG members regain freedom. Northern Ireland, unrest leaves over 50 police injured. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other.
And tonight on Sport News, National Sports Festival continues despite shutdown threats. I'll be back to keep you abreast of more happenings from the world of sports. My name is Moses Ojewumi. Stay with us.
There is need for Nigerians to be patriotic in deeds and utterances, as well as build bridges instead of fences in order to solve the myriads of challenges confronting the nation. The governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, made the submission at the 15th Synod of Methodist Church Nigeria, Diocese of Remo Central, held in Ishara, Remo. The governor used the opportunity to give account of his stewardship in just 22 months in office. Governor's office correspondent Tunde Olaniro has the details.
The theme of the 13th Synod of the Methodist Church Nigeria, Diocese of Remo Central, is Watch and Pray. At the Synod, the Diocesan Bishop, Right Reverend Olu Akinola, commended the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Abiodun, for giving the state an all-round facelift.
Social welfare and well-being of the people of Ogun State receive attention of this administration, with some hospitals being equipped at Ijayi, Ilaru, Abeokuta, and some health centers being renovated, rehabilitated, and equipped with medical equipment.
Governor Abiodun noted that the nation needs to join hands and resources together towards solving the nation's challenges.
As individuals and citizens, we have to be patriotic in our deeds and our utterances. It is important that all of us should desist from using inflammatory words, which are capable of aggravating the already tense situation.
He observed that quite a lot has been done in ensuring the security of lives and property in Ogun State, as well as stamping out criminality in the state, just as he reeled out few of the many achievements in infrastructure development.
This month, we are going to turn the sword on the Aton Agbara Lusada Road. The Agbara Road is the road leading to the biggest industrial hub in this country, which is the Agbara Industrial Hub. The road is so bad that trailers and containers continue to fall down that road every day. It is also a federal road, but we have taken it upon ourselves, having taken permission from the federal government. We are going to reconstruct that road, and in the next 1 year, that road will be completed.
Ijebu-Ode-Epe Road is at 98% level of completion, according to the governor, and will bring huge economic development into the state.
That is a legacy road. That road had been in the state of disrepair for over 11 years. We assumed office, and February last year, we turned the sword on that road and said within 1 year this road will be completed. But for COVID-19, would have completed that road. But despite COVID-19, this month of April, that road will be completed. As we speak, it is at 98% completion. This road is opening a new vista of expansion and investment opportunities into our corridor.
The governor also made case for the Gateway Agro-Cargo Airport, which is under construction, and the benefit that it will bring.
We have identified this location as the best location for a cargo airport in this state. And that is not controvertible. You cannot controvert that. The location, and this government does not join issues on the pages of newspaper. We are not a noise-making government. We are a government that allows our performances to speak for us. We decided that in line with the economic agenda, we would need to build an airport, a cargo airport. So in our line with the economic agenda, we identified that vacuum and we decided we're going to fill it. We now began to look at what is the best location for an airport in Ogun State. And part of the requirement is that that airport must be easily accessible. So we looked at different locations that were being proposed. And we decided on this location for reasons that are very obvious. Look at that location. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is less than a kilometer away from that airport. Am I correct? The Shagamu-Benin Expressway is less than a kilometer from. Am I correct? The entire value chain of agri-produce is centered around this place, alongside with the infrastructure that we can see that you've attended to. More importantly, when you look at the map of Ogun State, this particular location is right about the center of the state. So it means that from any part of Ogun State, it is equidistant. So we did not take this decision because I come from Remo, or because it tickles my fancy, but because the business case for this airport was made.
Prince Dr. Abiodun commended the religious organizations in the state for their support and pleaded for prayers. Tunde Olaniro, OGTV News.
Ogun State government has said that all libraries in the state would wear a new look and be upgraded to e-library in order to attract and encourage seekers of knowledge to make use of them. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, made this known during a monitoring exercise to Seminaribo Library, Abeokuta, where he pointed out that it is important for a library to be conducive and possess the necessary equipment and facilities to function properly. Arigbabu disclosed that the Seminaribo Library would wear a new look in few months' time, while the State Library in Ijebu-Ode is already being refurbished. This is said will cascade to others across the state.
For me, I can only assure them of more support, because plan is to turn around all the public libraries in the district. We have 6 of them. As we speak now, the library in Ijebu-Ode, that is the largest around library, ASK in Ijebu-Ode, is undergoing rehabilitation. It was actually damaged during the time that palliatives were being distributed. People thought they were palliatives. And immediately we brought this to the attention of His Excellency Dr. Abiodun MFR. He approved money for the rehabilitation immediately.
In his remarks, the Director of State Libraries, Mr. Vincent Giwa, said since the inception of Governor Dapo Abiodun-led administration, the library sector has experienced a good turnaround after years of neglect. The director revealed that the database for users will be electronic-based. The 6 libraries will be automated with the use of fiber optic, which would allow the libraries to be linked to the internet. In another development, the commissioner applauded Mr. Olasukomi Okpeifa, the 2018 Multina Teacher of the Year Award winner, who is also an Ogun State indigene, for distinguishing himself by being among the top 10 finalists Global Teacher Prize 2020. Arigbabu, who gave this commendation during Okpeifa's courtesy call to his office, described him as a distinguished son of the state, a worthy ambassador and a leading light in the teaching profession. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the dissolution and reconstitution of the governing councils of 5 federal universities in Nigeria. The affected universities are the University of Ibadan, University of Port Harcourt, University of Lagos, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and Maritime University in Delta. The approval is contained in a statement by Mr. Sonny Echana, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, Abuja. The chairman for University of Ibadan Governing Council is Chief Odije Oyegun. Senator Andrew Ochendo will chair University of Port Harcourt, while Dr. Larry Tejosho will be the chairman for University of Lagos. Obafemi Awolowo University, we have Chief Oscar Udoji as chairman, and the chairman Governing Council for the Nigerian Maritime University is Dr. Elias Kassan. The governing councils of the 5 universities will be inaugurated in Abuja by the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, on April 19. Poor reading upbringing and lack of motivation from parents and teachers have been identified as factors that hinder reading ability among the youths. This was the view of respondents who spoke with OGTV News on the effect of poor reading habits among the youths. Adebola Oshomoji reports.
Reading habits are well-planned and deliberate pattern of study, which has attained a form of consistency on the part of students towards understanding academic subjects and passing at examination. Respondents are of the opinion that physical and mental defects among students also leads to poor reading habits.
How many books are you buying for your children? Do you buy them good books? Do you encourage them to read? Do you bring these children and come out and ask them to read reading exercises and then allow them to flow with reading? Do we do that in our family circle? Do we do that in school enough?
Everything boils down to parenting. If you look at it, parents does not have time for their kids anymore. It's only they're after money. When your kids get home, you don't understand what he or she is really passing through in the school. You don't ask him or he or she questions when they get home. So how do you know how they are faring?
They submitted that from middle childhood through adulthood, reading becomes a major component of studying, and much information learned through studying is acquired through reading.
If you look at our libraries, they are fast gone. If you introduce this library concept to the children again, right from primary school, let them have different books that is of interest, at least following the recent trends. And from there, by the time they get to secondary school, the habit of teachers writing notes for them should be stepped down any time from GSS 3. Let them go write their own notes by themselves. By the time they are doing that, definitely they are going to start encountering their books again.
The school alone cannot do it. They can't do it alone. But when they come back home, you are the parent. You know what you want your children to become. You know the teachers, the external teachers, because the parents are the internal and the grassroots teachers. They can just do it for the meantime and leave it to you.
Parents were admonished to help their children cultivate the habit of reading in order to excel in life. Adebola Oshomoji, OGTV News.
Ogun State government has approved the administration of COVID-19 vaccine for intending pilgrims in accordance with the directive of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria as a requirement for 2021 Hajj. Intending pilgrims are hereby directed to visit the board secretariat complex, Block B, Okemoson, Abeokuta, with the payment receipt for the purpose of identification and clearance before the administration of the vaccine. The vaccination is scheduled for Saturday 10th and Sunday 11th April 2021, starting at 9 in the morning. Those who have been vaccinated at their local government areas do not need to repeat the first dose, but will be required to bring the vaccination card for necessary documentation. Participants are urged to obey COVID-19 safety protocols by using the fixed masks. A socio-economic activist and president Gbenga Akinwande Foundation, Engineer Gbenga Akinwande, has commended Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State for finally inaugurating the Amotekun security outfit in Ogun State. Akinwande made this known during the presentation of a generator and commissioning of the perimeter wiring of the Divisional Police Headquarters in Ayetoro Yewa North Local Government area with 4 sets of LED lights. He appealed to the police officers in Yewa Land to assist the local vigilante groups and the newly inaugurated Amotekun security outfit to combat and eradicate the killers, herdsmen, and Boko Haram fighters currently ravaging and kidnapping people in some parts of Yewa Land. Akinwande urged Governor Abiodun to post most of the Amotekun security constables to rural communities, particularly small towns and villages that are currently living in fear of herdsmen attacks and kidnappings. He urged the governor to fund the Amotekun security outfit appropriately to enable them perform optimally and efficiently so that the state can overcome most of the security challenges. And still ahead in the news, Nigeria's Association of Resident Doctors vows to continue ongoing strike until its demands are met. Details and more reports after the break. Don't go away.
Are you a young person between the ages of 18 to 40 years living in any part of Ogun State? Do you have a smartphone? Do you want to be financially independent, or do you want to earn between 100,000 naira and above per month working for yourself? Prince Dapo Abiodun-led Ogun State government in collaboration with Access Bank PLC created an opportunity for you to become financially independent as agency banking agents. How to apply? Log on to https://bit.ly/close-agents, fill biodata form and download the agency banking form. Go to the nearest Access Bank branch near you with 3 recent passport photographs, a recent utility bill and a valid ID card. Alternatively, interested applicants can meet with Access Bank officials at the nearest local government secretariat between 6th and 7th of April 2021. Candidates are to go to the local government secretariat with 3 recent passport photographs, a recent utility bill and valid ID card to apply. All applicants' forms must be submitted on or before Friday, April 9, 2021 at any Access Bank branch close to you. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.
The Ogun State government, under the leadership of Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, in its efforts to plan for housing and infrastructure requirements, road, urban and rural renewal projects, water, rural electrification, and many more, is embarking on a property enumeration drive across the state. The project will assist the government in ascertaining the key areas to be fixed, in ensuring an equitable distribution of all projects and infrastructure. This is to implore all residents and business owners to cooperate with the enumerators as they visit all houses, business buildings to capture data. Kindly provide all necessary information to our enumerators, who will be having on them verifiable means of identification. Ogun State, building our future together. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni. Announcer, Ministry of Finance.
That you're still there, the news continues. In fulfillment of the promise of the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, to rehabilitate the second side of the Lafenwa section of the Lafenwa Rounder Road, work has fully commenced on the construction of the road to ease movement and commercial activities in the market. OGTV News visited the project site, brought back the report that work is going on in full blast as men and equipment have been fully deployed to the site. Matthew Shoumi completes the report.
A visit to these sites some days back, we revealed to you the far-reaching impacts this road is going to have on the commercial activities of this area upon completion.
The deplorable condition of the second lane of the market area of the Lafenwa Rounder Road, which had brought untold hardship to the people, received the attention of the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, during the inspection of the ongoing projects, and promised immediate construction of the section of the road. As a government that works its talk, the commencement of work in full blast on the section of the road shows the determination to fulfill the promise with the deployment of both men and equipment. Traders in the area were full of appreciation to the government for coming to the aid of the road users and the traders in the area.
I was surprised seeing them coming back on this project. I thank government for what they are doing, and I commend them that they should continue, and God will bless them. So I want government to please fill that place and also complete the side like the other side.
Very, very bad, though. Even too many accidents that people died here is not okay as a result of the bad road. Vehicles spoil, so many things, even down to up area. But now things are getting better.
With some milestones recorded on the progress of work on the road, contractors on Pansheke Adigwe Road have redoubled their efforts to deliver the projects. The project, which has extended to the Navy Secondary School axis, is being given the necessary attention as men and equipment were seen on the ground constructing the road median and the walkway in preparation for the laying of laterites before the asphalt laying. The engineer in charge of the construction assured of timely completion of the project.
That place, in my schedule, I will do wiring course. After we finish all the asphalt, we will put the second course.
With the pace of work on the sites, the people can be rest assured of the completion of the project as promised by the government. Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
For the economic emancipation and well-being of the people of Abeokuta North Local Government Area, an ultra-modern shopping complex and a borehole named after Oba Sabur Babajide Bakri, the Agurav Bagura land, have been inaugurated at Lafenwa Market. Performing the commissioning, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs in Ogun State, Honorable Afolabi Afuakwe, expressed happiness that local government administration is gradually coming back to life again. Bumi Adigun covered the event and completes the reports.
Lafenwa Market is one of the largest and ancient markets in Abeokuta North Local Government Area of Ogun State. Its existence dates back to the 60s. It is a major hub center for trading in all farm produce because it connects with Imekwa for local government. Life is gradually coming back to this market as the current administration has begun the construction of the road. Another development that just unfolded is the ultra-modern shopping complex stores building with 3 blocks, 144 lock-up shops, and 160 open stores with functional bowl, water system toilets, and other, courtesy of the local government chairman.
The magic first is the enabling environment created by the governor of Ogun State, His Excellency Dr. Prince Dapo Abiodun. Secondly, the support given to us by the Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Moruf Afuakwe. And thirdly, the commitment of myself and the team that I have to develop the local government, to consciously develop the local government.
Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Afolabi Afuakwe, said although the project is born out of the public-private partnership initiative, but appreciated the efforts of the local government chairman for allowing it to see the light of the day.
While we are campaigning, we promise a new local government. We promise a local government that will be able to give back to our people, and that's exactly what we are experiencing now. I want to exactly appreciate our governor for giving us the enabling environment to thrive. This project is one of the initiatives of governor. It's on PPP, public-private initiative of this present administration. All ideas are still welcome from other developers that want to emulate this.
Other eminent Nigerians, royal fathers, market chiefs, and local government stakeholders appreciated the gesture of Prince Dapo Abiodun in making local government councils functional, as occupants were warned against filthy environment. Another borehole project named after the Agurav Bagura land, Oba Sabur Babajide Bakri, at the old Lafenwa Market, was also commissioned. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has described as sad and disheartening the untimely demise of the chairman, Ogun State Food Crops Marketing Board, Honorable Matthew Atonda Tade, which occurred recently. Governor Abiodun, in a personal letter to the family of the deceased, read by his deputy, Engineer Naimot Salako Ojedele, noted that his death was a great loss, not only to his families but to the state at large, saying the news of his demise was a great shock to him. While describing the deceased as a dedicated role player in achieving the Building Our Future Together agenda, he added that he was an active member of APC and proud son of Imeko land.
His death is painful and heart-rending, not only to the immediate family and to the many lives he positively impacted as a grassroots politician, but to our dear state as a whole. He was a politician of repute with immense consideration for others. His love for his community is exemplary and worthy of emulation.
Responding, firstborn of the deceased, Samuel Tade, appreciated the state government for the support given to the family since the demise of the father, praying that Almighty God grant the government grace to achieve its programs and policies for the citizens of the state and put an end to untimely death across the state. The state delegation, led by the Deputy Governor, includes the Commissioner for Housing, Jakumolu Jamiu Omoniyi, Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Toyin Taiwo, and the Chairman, Ogungwandang Free Trade Zone, Mr. Gwega Nasiru Isiaka, and APC party leaders. Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo has applauded the First Lady of Nigeria for her steadfastness and genuine commitment to complementing government's efforts towards uplifting the lives of Nigerians, especially women, youth, and children, as well as all the vulnerable members of the society. Report says that the Vice President said this during the presentation of the book titled Aisha Buhari, Being Different Upward, by Dr. Aiju Sani, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs and Administration. The Vice President recommends the book for all academic purposes for the betterment of the society. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has shifted the commencement of registration for the 2021 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination and Direct Entry to a later date. Head Public Affairs and Protocol of JAMB, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, who made this known in a statement on Thursday in Abuja, said the registration exercise was speculated to have begun on April 8, 2021, explaining that this date was not realistic because of some issues. Dr. Benjamin said the delay was caused by some unforeseen circumstances occasioned by the determined effort to have a national identification number name integration. He said to be sure of all processes are completed before the commencement, the board did not place its advertorial as it was yet to complete the process of a smooth pin vending and candidate access to the registration app for the 2021 UTME and direct entry. The challenge is being resolved, and once that is done, all processes shall commence. Candidates are therefore requested to exercise some patience. Members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, Ogun State Chapter, on 22nd of March 2021, embarked on a nationwide strike against the non-implementation of financial autonomy of state legislature as provided for in the Nigeria's constitution. In this report, our reporter Kolawole Osho, who visited the State House of Assembly, gives an update of the strike. Details of his report are presented in this package.
Nigeria's Constitution, Section 121, Subsection 3, provided financial autonomy for the legislative and judicial arms of government, as well as Presidential Order 10, duly signed by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020 for its implementation. Before this time, President Buhari also set up the Presidential Implementation Committee to ensure full implementation, but most of the 36 states of the Federation have not implemented the law. For this purpose, state houses of assembly under the auspices of Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, embarked on an indefinite strike. Barely 3 weeks now, legislative activities in Ogun State were grounded as the gate to the assembly complex is still locked. Chairman of the State Assembly Charter of PASAN, Comrade James Obanla, gave an update on the strike.
There's progress. As at this week, the Speakers Forum met with the chairman of Governors Forum in Ado-Ekiti. According to the information gathered again, there's going to be another meeting of the Governors Forum with the Speakers Forum to finalize the way forward. Hopefully, we believe that by the end of this week, probably we have a way out.
Similarly, gates to the Ogun State High Court and that of the Magistrate Court still under lock and key. As members of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSON, Ogun State Chapter, also joined their counterparts in the country on nationwide strike on the implementation of the arm of government's full implementation of financial autonomy.
Meanwhile, the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria said the strike is still on because no concrete resolution had been reached. The legal advisor to JUSON, Miriam Yusuf Gusso, made this known on Thursday in Abuja GSM began an indefinite strike on Tuesday over continued delay to implement financial autonomy for the judiciary. President Muhammadu Buhari had on May 22, 2020, signed the Executive Order 10 for the enforcement of the financial autonomy status granted to state legislature and judiciary in the Nigerian Constitution. The order also mandates the Accountant General of the Federation to deduct from source amounts due to the state legislatures and judiciaries from the monthly allocations to each state that refuse to grant such autonomy. The Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors has vowed to continue its ongoing strike until the federal and state governments concede to its demands. NAD made its position known in a communique issued at the end of a virtual extraordinary National Executive Council meeting signed by Dr. Ujilawa Oku-Aisui, its president, on Thursday in Abuja. The association said that NEC had unanimously voted that the ongoing strike that started on April 1 would continue. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives Committee on Healthcare Services has threatened to issue a warrant of arrest on Dr. Tajuddin Sanusi. This followed the failure of Dr. Sanusi, who is the Registrar of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, MDCN, to honor the invitation extended to him by the committee. Addressing a press conference on Thursday in Abuja, the chairman of the House Committee, Tanko Sununu, said the lawmakers have decided to summon the MDCN registrar. He warned that should Sanusi fail to appear before the committee, the lawmakers would issue a warrant of arrest on him. The lawmakers explained that the invitation extended to the medical practitioner was to address the ongoing strike by members of the National Association of Resident Doctors, NAD. The 46th President Party and Investiture for year 2021 edition of Abeokuta Club will feature the investiture of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo as trustee and conferment of late Chief M.K.O. Abiola as vice patron posthumous of the club. The General Secretary, Abeokuta Club, Chief Sheson Okutoro, in a statement said the event is scheduled for Sunday, 11th April 2021 at the Abeokuta Club Millennium Hall, commencing at 12 noon. According to the statement, the ceremony would attract dignitaries from all walks of life. Eminent personalities expected at the ceremony include Honorary Patron of the club and Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, Grand Patron, Alake and Paramount Ruler of Egbaland, and other sectional royal fathers in Egbaland, while a prominent member of the club, Evangelist Ebenezer Obi, will be on the bandstand. The importance for Nigerians to be patriotic in utterances has been noted as necessary in seeking genuine answers to the present security challenges confronting the country. Report says that this was echoed at an engagement between the National Peace Committee and interest groups in Abuja. Taking a critical look at why insurgency continues to persist, kidnapping is on the increase amid recent trend of attacking security personnel and facilities in some parts of Nigeria, is the reason these stakeholders converged. The brainstorming forum is at the instance of the National Peace Committee, a force to be engaged are government functionaries, including heads of the National Assembly, Governors Forum, security agencies, and traditional institutions. They interface with civil society organizations, media houses, and other stakeholders.
Towards ensuring that we douse tension and we get these people who are agitating for the break of the country to see reason not to continue with their agitations.
I want our eminent leaders here to look into the involvement of international community in the ongoing insecurity in Nigeria.
There's a lot of separation going on along our coast, very seriously. So we need to have the Navy going out there.
For members of the National Peace Committee, there is no amount of sacrifice too small in solving Nigeria's security challenges, hence the need to listen to different views.
But propose some concrete suggestions that can inspire more confidence among our people.
A couple of the media people, they believe that only bad news sells. So I think we need to be very, very careful
We as leaders, we have to know that we are going to account for this leadership God gave us. So please, let's put aside sentiments.
Recommendations at the meeting are to be presented to President Muhammadu Buhari, who the chairman of the committee says is in support of the initiative. A police public complaints committee to investigate and address brutality and rights infringement by personnel of the Nigerian Police Force has been inaugurated by the Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Megari Dingyadi, in Abuja. The committee is in response to the October 2020 EndSARS protest triggered by allegations of police brutality. The objective, according to the Minister of Police Affairs, is to serve as an institution that oversees the activities of police personnel in relation to their interaction with the public.
The idea is to put in place a permanent structure that would help to effectively nip in the bud civil unrests with the undesirable or concomitant effects and destructive tendencies by providing the populace with opportunities to channel their grievances on the misconduct of police personnel to the appropriate quarters for necessary action.
On his part, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Police Affairs, Temitope Fateru, pointed out that the committee is geared towards transforming the police for effective and enhanced service delivery.
It's in place to serve the people. Those that have been lucky to be recruited to man all public relations and are paid from public funds have to ensure that they are citizen-centered in their approach at all times.
The committee, whose membership is drawn from several security agencies and the civil society, will be chaired by the Ministry of Police Affairs, while the Police Inspectorate Department will serve as the secretary. Acting Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba began his tenure on Wednesday with a pledge to confront increasingly complex and pervasive security threats in the country. He listed them as terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, secessionist, agitation, and sundry organized crimes. To achieve the task, the acting police boss hinted of plans to rejig the police operational strategies. He asked Nigerians to expect improvement in the security situation and urged them to collaborate and cooperate with the police. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, on Thursday disclosed that 8 members of the church kidnapped in Kaduna State have been released. The report added that members of RCCG Region 30, Trinity Sanctuary, Kaduna, were attacked on March 26 near Doka along the Kachia-Kafancha Road on their way to a program. The kidnappers had demanded 50 million ransom. But in a tweet on Thursday, the 79-year-old General Overseer said all the 8 members have been freed and have been taken to hospital for examination. The Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdulrashid Bawa, has said he would take the fight against corruption to the next level. He said this during his visit to Ibadan and Ilorin offices of the Commission. In a statement signed by Mr. Wilson Uwajarin, Head Media and Publicity, he quoted the anti-corruption boss as saying he would digitize all the processes of the Commission during the visit to Ibadan office. He charged the staff of the Commission to be hardworking and devoted to work, as Nigerians are looking up to them for success in the fight against corruption. He assured that officers of the Commission will be exposed to new training opportunities to keep them abreast of changing trends in the fight against corruption. On the business segment of the news, IMF approves 3rd tranche of grants for debt service relief for 28 member countries. These are another business news shortly. On the business news segment, the President, World Bank Group, Mr. David Malpass, said the group is working actively in collaboration with the International Monetary Fund on the common framework that the G20 established for dealing with debt overhang and debt burdens. He noted that many of the middle-income countries had access problems to market-based finance and they also had rising fiscal deficits that were problematic. While stressing the relevance of transparency, he said the group needed to look for a more balanced relationship between creditors and debtors. He said that a major challenge facing middle-income countries was that collateralized debt was very hard to restructure. The Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has approved a third tranche of grants for debt service relief for 28 of the fund's member countries under the Catastrophic Containment and Relief Trust, CCRT. The approval is a follow-up to two prior tranches approved on April 13, 2020 and October 2, 2020, respectively. According to a statement by IMF, the relief will enable the disbursement of grants from the CCRT for payment of all eligible debt service due to the IMF from its poorest and most vulnerable members from April 14, 2021 to October 15, 2021, estimated at $238 million. The tranche of grant for debt service relief will continue to help free up scarce financial resources for vital emergency health, social and economic support to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Amid the continued smuggling of petroleum products out of the country to neighboring countries, including Cameroon, the Nigeria Customs Service has said its restriction of fuel supply along borders is being opposed by communities and marketers. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, which is the sole importer of the product into the country, had risen above the pre-COVID-19 levels, crossing 70 million liters daily in the fourth quarter of last year. The corporation said 2.25 billion liters of petrol were sold and distributed in December, translating to 72.72 million liters per day, as against 57.44 million liters in November. The NNPC put the country's petrol consumption level at 35 million liters daily. That was the business segment of the news. Up next is foreign news.